Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 5, entitled as Karma Sannyasa Yogam. Sloka 15. Nādatte kasyacit pāpaṁ na caiva sukṛtaṁ vibhuḥ ajñānenāvṛtaṁ jñānaṁ tena muhyanti jantavaḥ. Past few slokas, we might have noticed something that Krishna seems to be giving a solution, sort of escapism, meaning a person is a doer, but all he's trying to do is push off the doership to the senses, body, prana, etc. When we know that the Atma is actually the doer, even this is confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra, karta shatrat vatvat, then how do we understand these slokas when Krishna is trying to push off the doership to the body, as the Atma is not the doer? Let's first understand this, and then we can get into the actual sloka, because this is very important at this point to have a clear understanding. Say, for example, a boy who got into a bad association and lost his good senses and started doing bad things. A well-wisher of that boy happens to meet him and learned what has happened in this boy's life, how he got into a wrong path. So the well-wisher spoke to boy and gave him good advices, explaining him how he was before, what family he comes from, how great his family is, his family traditions are, and more, so that he understands and realizes where he is coming from. Then finally says to the boy that by nature you're a very good boy. It's all because of the bad association you got with these people. It's not your mistake. You can give up this bad association and be how you were before. When the well-wisher said this, that he is not the cause of it, it is the bad people or the association of the bad people. In reality, we know without the intention, the boy's intention and desire, the bad association wouldn't have done much to him. So, though the Atma is the doer, we are trying to compare that with the discussion we started with, his action comes into place only due to the association with the body. Otherwise, the Atma in its original state will not be doing such activities. So the reason to push off the doership to the body and senses is not to blame them, but to bring one back into the right path. That is Krishna's primary intention by saying so. So at this point, we should be very clear as we are moving into further slokas in this chapter. That is, Jivatma is the actual doer. There's no question about it. Jivatma does this because of the association of the body. If the body is not there, then Jivatma will not be doing such activities. It doesn't mean that Jivatma will be like a motionless stone doing nothing. It means it will be engaged in the service of the Lord while being here in this world or in the spiritual world in the spiritual form. In the spiritual world, the Atma, due to its own sankalpa, can take any form to serve the Lord. Therefore, in the spiritual world, there is no need to push off the activities to another entity. Even in the material world, if we do bhakti, it is done due to the association of the body. It's all because of the sattva guna. If one does bad things, that is also because of the association of the body due to the rajoguna and tamoguna. So at this juncture, we should be pretty clear who is the doer. Now getting back to the sloka, nādatte kasyacit pāpaṁ na caiva sukṛtaṁ vibhuḥ ajñānenāvṛtaṁ jñānaṁ tena muhyanti jantavaḥ. Na, never, nādatte, accept, kasyacit, anyone's, pāpaṁ, sin, na, nor, cha, also, eva, certainly, sukṛtaṁ, pious activities, vibhuḥ, the Supreme Lord, ajñānenāvṛtaṁ, by ignorance, āvṛtaṁ, covered, jñānaṁ, knowledge, tena, by that, muhyanti, or bewildered, jantavaḥ, the living entity. Nor does the Supreme Lord assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge. Here the term pāpaṁ means sorrow produced by sin. Sukṛtaṁ refers to happiness caused by merit. The term vibhuḥ means he who is common to all bodies. Now, this term vibhuḥ has been differently interpreted by different acharyas. Swami Ramanujacharya interprets this vibhuḥ as living entity, as the self can get any body. A self need not get only the body of a human being always, all the time. He can be embodied as devata, animal, birds, any of those things. He can also be assigned the different bodies, plant body. So this person does not solve anyone's problem or doesn't give any happiness to anyone. The reason is because he doesn't have anyone as a favorable and unfavorable, because he keeps changing the body. That is how Swami Ramanuja has interpreted this, whereas Srila Prabhupada, based on Baladev and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, interprets vibhuḥ as the Supreme Lord. Now, if the jiva is not the doer, then one might conclude that Paramatma, the Lord, out of some impulse or amusement, forcing the living entity to do some action. So everything can be pushed off to the Lord. People might think like that, because this is also justified by few quotations from the Shastra. In Kausitaki Upanishad, it is said, the Lord engages living entities in pious activities whom He desires to elevate from this world. The Lord engages the living entities in impious activities whom He desires to degrade them. Likewise, there's another one from Mahabharata. It states that the ignorant living entity is completely powerless in regards to attaining his distress and happiness. Impelled by the Supreme Lord, he will go to heaven or hell. So these are some statements. Based on these statements, it seems that the Lord has quality of injustice and he should be blamed for the sins of the jiva or for anything that's happening under the creation, iska creation. Therefore, this particular sloka that we are seeing now, the 15th sloka, answers that accusation. The Supreme Lord, vibhuḥ, is full of immeasurable bliss, knowledge, and unlimited energies. He doesn't need anything else for his enjoyment. He is self-sufficient. He gains nothing by doing or showing his power by making some jivas to enjoy and some jiva to suffer. The Lord simply engages the living entities in activities according to jiva's previous vasanas, the impressions and karmas. The living entities desiring to enjoy, who has the beginningless vasanas and karmas, takes a particular body and enjoys. Likewise, they suffer. It's all because of the vasanas and karmas, which is beginningless. Therefore, the Lord does not receive any sinful or pious reaction for the individual jiva's action. He cannot be blamed. It is the jivas, the living entity, that they have to pay for it. Again, this is also confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra. Vaishamya nairgriganena na sapekshatvat tatahi darshayati, which means the Lord has no partiality or cruelty, because the pleasure and pain suffered by the living beings is caused by their own karma. That is what is stated in the scriptures. Also, people have an idea of Lord, that the Lord randomly picks living entities and makes some group of people happy, some group of people suffer. That accusation is also not accepted, as that is confirmed again in the Vedanta Sutra. Na karma vibhagad iti chin nādatte. Someone may argue that it is Lord who gives different karmas to each jivas at the beginning. He picks someone, tells you suffer. He picks someone else, he says you become a rich man. He picks someone, he tells you become a beautiful person. Another one as you become a very learned person. But that is not so, because karma is without a beginning. That we should be very clear. Nādatte kasyacit pāpaṁ na caiva sukṛtaṁ vibhuḥ ajñānenāvṛtaṁ jñānaṁ tena muhyanti jantavaḥ.
Namaste. Hare Krishna.